We are here at Best Fitness at Westgate Plaza in Albany, and they've been very kind and gracious to let us use their yoga room for this videotaping to take what we saw in the PowerPoint presentation and do some basic exercises for motion, flexibility, balance, and as we noticed in that diagram, the true attributes of weight transfer, push off, and glide that make cross-country ski unique. We'll also review the basic fundamental body position, basic movements, the timing that you have in it, and of course, with all those three put together correctly, you get good power and speed in cross-country skiing. So again, anybody who says that cross-country skiing is work doesn't have all those elements in sync. Also, it goes without saying that we do thank the Hartford for the fitness kits that you have and other supplies to use at home. Very beneficial to keep you moving in this most precarious time of COVID-19 and coronavirus. So without further ado, I'm going to demonstrate what we reviewed in our PowerPoint presentation. Other things that are in your fitness kit is the sliding towel that we'll demonstrate, the cordless jump rope. Okay, so the first thing that we talk about is the athletic position. And that is one that maximizes the use of your muscles and how they're transferred into the technique. And instead of being upright and straight, your center of gravity is usually right about here. And what you want to do from the side is to be slightly forward on the balls of your feet, knees bent, ankles slightly flexed and bent, and just leaning forward a little bit. So your center of gravity is actually slightly in front of your feet, which has you going down the trail. And whether you're sitting, whether you're standing, this is where you want to be. With center of gravity slightly bent from the hips, the knees, and the ankles, which locks them, which provides stability. And with your center of gravity being forward, you're going down the trail. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is simple weight transfer. It's one of the three specific attributes to Nordic skiing. And again, for those of you that may be amputees, any type of partial neurologic involvement, a room like this, or to do it in your house where you have something you can hold on to, is of particular benefit at first until you develop the coordination and the stability and the confidence to do the weight transfer. But basically, the weight transfer in both classic and skating technique, which is the two major techniques for cross-country skiing, is to go from one leg to maximize your glide and your weight transfer to the other. This is the weight transfer. So depending on how comfortable you are, depending on what type of disability and contribution your muscles and your posture contributes to it, you can hold on to a bar and just go from leg to leg and hold it. Notice the leg is bent a little bit forward and you go on both of those. Basic weight transfers, very important. The reason why you keep everything bent, the hips, the knees, the ankle, and a forward trunk, is flexion is a locking, stable position for your joints, and it really helps in both weight transfer to both sides. So start slow, start in a modern, and again, just practice single leg holding. Single leg. From here, you can use a leg to go in various planes to help the strength and the stability of the leg that's supporting you. And after you've gone with minimal distance, you can increase the distance side to side. So the other mechanism that we have is called, in cross-country skiing, is the glide. So the classic technique is what we usually instruct first. And to have the weight transfer which in classic would be this weight transfer because you're going down the two tracks, versus skating, which is side to side. We work to incorporate the second component, which is the glide. And you can do this in your kitchen floor. You can do it in any shiny surface. This yoga room at Best Fitness is a nice artificial tile, and you just get a little bit of glide. Okay? I'll do it from the side for classic technique. And what we're doing in addition to the weight transfer and the glide, obviously, is the push-off. Push off the glide. Push off the glide. Push off the glide. Push off the glide. That's classic technique. In skating, where you're going out to the sides like you're ice skating, the push-off is on the opposite leg. That gives you the propulsion to go down the track. Now, with what we have here, I have a tied rubber band, and you can tie this, but for expedience sake, I have another band that is tied. And to start a strength component of that for your legs and your trunk, you just put the foot in the band, hold on to kitchen counter. This can go on a chair leg. If you've got any weights or any heavy item at home. And what you can simply do is work on the motions for weight transfer and gliding and follow through. So this is for the classic technique. You can do it on both legs. For the skating technique, as you push off, you can work in both legs, both planes, adduction and adduction, which is part of the fundamental movements for skating. Both legs, it works the entire leg and the entire hip. And again, it's just the Hartford band tied. Now, for upper extremity strengthening, as you saw when I was doing the classic technique for the weight transfer, glide, and push off, it was alternate arm and leg for classic technique. So with the Hartford band, again, around something that isn't going to move, a lot of people, a lot of athletes will just use a doorknob, a sturdy doorknob. You can just use alternate arm pull. Which is really good strengthening for the entire upper quarter, the entire arm. And while you're doing it, you're stabilizing your core. You've got a good contraction in your core, your transversus and rectus abdominis, to hold things nice and stable, and its opposite arm. This is the classic technique. Again, we'll show you. You will have the weight transfer, the glide, the push-off, and the arm swing. Okay. For skating, it's typically both arms together. So what you would do with the Hartford band is pull them both. And again, knees are bent, ankles bent, hips bent, everything's a little flexed and locked. Center of gravity is forward. And you're working your arms. Typically, we'll recommend for people just to do moderate intensity and pull, 4, 5, 7 minutes at a time, multiple sets, just to start to elicit full muscle contraction and keep it in a comfortable range of motion. Now, to incorporate upper extremity and lower extremity with the cordless jump rope that is provided through your fitness kit, you can do the same exercises we did just a minute ago, except incorporate arm stability and rhythm with these. So, if I may, so you start this, and again, you're working on weight transfer, stability, and you're in the athletic posture. You can work on the classical technique. You can mix them up. Weight transfer and push-off. If you want to incorporate glide, we'll do it from the side. Glide, weight transfer, and kickoff on all three of them. And again, I'll do skating. Okay. Very, very comfortable, very easy, very safe. You go the distance when you do abduction, adduction, flexion, and extension. You go the distance that is comfortable for you, that is safe, maintains stability, and you're not gonna fall. And again, do it in a very safe environment where area rugs are picked up, it's safe, no chairs, nothing that if you do lose your balance, that you can injure yourself. Keep a safe environment at all times. If you're on a surface that needs, that isn't slippery as this, by all means you can use this and work one side at a time. So my kitchen floor isn't quite as smooth as this, so I use this on both sides to hold people. Decreases friction, easy to slide, and what you do is you just change the legs and you pull it back. Glide, push off, and weight transfer all in one. Okay? So again, you're looking at the athletic posture, forward, flexed, compact, ready to fire. You're looking at the basic body movements for classic technique of a lot of flexion and extension. Skating is abduction and adduction. You look at the timing of them all to get in a nice sequence, which you coordinate with your breathing. And then, of course, when the time is put together, you can apply as much force as you want to maximize your power and maximize your enjoyment and your benefit from the exercise. Cross-country skiing, most of any Paralympic sport we do, whether it be CRNA, paraskeleton, cross-country skiing, biathlon, they really shouldn't be work. All right, so now I'm just going to go over some basic adaptations that those that are sit-ski bound for spinal cord injury or other neurologic involvement have to contend with and can train with. Obviously, if you're in a sit-ski, you don't have all the latitudes and all the freedoms that perhaps somebody standing can perform. However, the athlete posture in the sitting is in force, and the one thing that many athletes really strive for, depending on where your spinal lesion is for weight transfer, which maximizes turning and maneuverability in the sit-ski. The United States Nordic program has a rich history of world-class Paralympic champions and a very well-administered program under the guise of Eileen Carey and Beth Ann Chamberlain, who is also presenting other courses here for the week. And what they really try to emphasize is the weight transfer and the skills in the bucket that can add maximal speed, maximal maneuverability, and obviously optimal performance that gets you to the finish line and for sport excellence. So depending on where your lesion is, you can be in your wheelchair, you can be, if by chance you have a sit-ski or a bucket or any type there, that you can start to stimulate core stability with weight transfer. It's nothing more than visualizing going around curves, visualize terrain, and stabilizing yourself and holding it there. Because the ability to get on one ski is a significant advantage in the Paralympic Nordic discipline for those that are in sit skis, the 10, 10-5, 11, 11-5, and 12. So the thing that you can do is to really go as far as you can, hold it, feel the activation of what abdominals you may have, to that stimulation and that recruitment for good stability, and that'll help you get on that one ski, which really enhances your technique and your performance. Work on it both sides, hold it, and then what we do is, again, using the Hartford strap, is to be in this position and start to really strengthen and stabilize your core muscles. And when you go as far as you can, let go of the band, take the tension off, and try to hold that. And then it'll become very dynamic, very perpetuating to have that type of skill, that type of one ski turning and mobility in your sit ski. For cross-country skiing in a sit ski, the stroke literally done most of the time, if not all the time, is double poling. So again, to have your Hartford band handy, to be in the athletic posture, a little bit forward, stable co-contraction in your trunk muscles. You can pull down. And for maximal strength, in pretty much any of the exercises we do, accentuating and prolonging the lengthening contraction of the muscle helps in strength recruitment. So any of the exercises that I show you, if you pull down, hold, a little bit longer. Pull down really hard and fast, hold, slow return, is really, really good for strength. To build it and to build it rather quickly. That's for people that, as I say, because of spinal conditions or other neurologic involvement, are relegated to a sit ski. Okay, so what I just demonstrated with the Hartford band and leaning and working on a double poling, which is the preferred, mostly used stroke in a sit ski. Obviously, we have the cordless jump rope here. And again, once you really start to get some good stability and good feel for where that tipping point is, and where you can really ride one ski or mostly one ski, develop speed, develop efficiency, and of course that thrill that comes with cross-country skiing. It's not unusual to incorporate these. You can extend the arm to give you a little leverage, come back, go way over, way over, way over, go as far as you can, hold, then go as far forward to accentuate the athletic position. You can keep the arms close to you. You can take them way out front. That develops different levels of core initiation and stability. So, and then of course, as you go, you can do all sorts of things. Don't fall out of the chair, please. If you need a restraining strap, a nice seat belt, please do. Again, safety at all time. But these are very good for core initiation, stability, so when you do get in the sit ski, it'll come together all a little quicker. Here's a simple exercise with the Hartford fitness ball that can work on timing and coordination for the classic technique. And simply from the side, is you hold up and you bounce it in the position, and good, bringing up the leg for the push off and glide on the left looks like this. I'll do the other leg. Notice you have the weight transfer, you have the push off, and the glide. really good for the timing component, using flexion and extension, and being in your athletic posture.